Increasing transparency into the capabilities of surveillance and policing technologies, a resource for cities and citizens. Over the past decade, many cities, including Oakland, have installed a growing range of surveillance technologies intended to prevent crime and terrorism and to improve law enforcement response rates. As cities undergo these sometimes imperceptible changes to enhance policing capabilities and introduce smart city initiatives, it is imperative for citizens to have reliable resources for understanding the functions and implications of these technologies, which may be allowed to infringe upon their civil liberties. For their fellowship project with the Center for Technology, Society, and Policy at UC Berkeley School of Information, CTSP, a team of 4 students and their colleagues are researching what happens to the personal data collected by Oakland Police Department. Oakland Privacy Advisory Commission, OPAC, and local civil liberties organizations reached out to CTSP in search of information system analysts to help in their mission of providing accountability and transparency for the community about these technologies. One of the primary questions OPAC wanted answered was how could information gathered by OPD be used, incidentally or intentionally, in ways that were not in line with the city's values and not in the best interest of its local residents, such as immigration law enforcement by federal agencies. OPD officials disclosed 23 separate databases that the department uses to store and analyze information.
The Privacy Commission, with our team and with the police department, decided we need to figure out a way to analyze how these databases, what information they're collecting, how they would affect the community, and are there mitigations that need to be taken to keep the community safe.
The team conducted a values-based investigation from the perspective of a public citizen who has limited access to the system and analyzed the potential privacy risks associated with citizenship-related data.
That's when we started work on CRIMS, the Consolidated Records Information Management System.
CRIMS is an online portal that holds the data collected when someone comes into contact with Alameda County's law enforcement agencies. The system is constantly updated by and can be accessed by almost every one of the county's police officers and sheriff's deputies using the computers in their squad cars or offices. Officers will enter an individual's personal data into the system, including their address, place of birth, and even their social security number if it's known. Some of this information would be publicly accessible through court record releases if the person is arrested. But this information may also be collected whenever there is a field report filed for a traffic ticket, a noise complaint, or even when your house alarm goes off. This non-arrest related information would only be accessible to some users of CRIMS, generally those officers within the county. While this data is typically inaccessible to federal agencies, in circumstances in which an agency has received a judicial warrant, Alameda County has the ability to share criminal justice-related data with federal agencies such as the Department of Homeland Security's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as well as other county and state agencies. While there are still many questions about these systems and how they are being used, this project aimed to be a test case in understanding one of the police department's 23 systems and the implications for the city of Oakland and other cities. The hope is that this project can be used to find ways to replicate the collection of valuable data to most efficiently and effectively analyze the city's other surveillance systems, and also find ways to improve how the data is stored and used by the implementation of new safeguards. The goal of the CTSP student researchers and OPAC is to expand the reach of this knowledge and educate Oaklanders about the kinds of data collection and surveillance technologies in place that citizens may not be aware of.
How do I get the people that are most likely to be impacted to also know that and to either protect themselves or to advocate and participate in these local mechanisms like the Oakland Privacy Advisory Commission? I don't want this in my community, or I want it to be a policy for its use that is really protective of me and my personal community.
The CTSP team continues to create resources to serve as a model for providing citizens and local government officials with the information they need to make informed policy decisions about privacy-conscious acquisition and deployment of these technologies in Oakland and other jurisdictions. To learn more about this research and other CTSP fellow projects, visit ctsp.berkeley.edu.